Hi, my name is Fianshu and I'm a soft skills trainer. I'm making this video because a lot of students have been asking me about how to clear a personal interview, especially in this corona time. And because you can't be face to face, you have to you're giving interviews on phone and on video calls. So I'm going to cover few basic things which I think that other videos haven't covered, and even if they have covered, I think the way could have been a little more direct. And if I was a student, I would have preferred something with more depth. So that is why I'm going to give you the very few basics that I think every candidate should keep in their mind before going for an interview. But before I start with the video, I've already started with the video, but before I start with the content, I want to tell you one more thing, and this is especially for all those students who are extra scared while giving the interview. So I'm going to welcome you to the other side of the table, the panelist side. So firstly, you have to relax because the panelist is also scared. There are two reasons. Number one is that they do not want to reject the right candidate. Imagine you could be one of the best candidate or the topmost manager in another 5 years or 10 years down the line, uh, if they could have selected you, but you will be going to a competitor, so they always fear of rejecting the right candidate. The second part is they are also scared of selecting the wrong candidate. Imagine they select a wrong candidate, and just after 2 or 3 months in the probation period, they get to know that the person we trusted is not the right choice, and the promises that person made is were extremely far-fetched. So I think both the parties, the interviewer and the interviewee, both are scared just because they want to do the right job, nothing else. All right. So the top three things which I feel, except your smile, your resume, and everything, I'm not going to touch those things. The top three things which I feel is that every panelist checks, and every candidate should be careful about is, the first thing is intent. When I say intent, I mean that I'm talking about the intentions somebody showing towards the job, somebody showing towards the profile, somebody is showing towards the company. You should have a very clear intention to work there. It should not be like that you are saying that you want to work but your intention shows differently. So the first thing is that. The second thing is content. When I say content, I mean the kind of work you have done, the kind of skills you already possess, the kind of exposure you already had before applying the job, right? That's the second thing. The third thing is trainability. I think this is one of the most important thing. The reason is, sometimes, see, no candidate is perfect, no company is perfect. So sometimes there are times when a candidate has a little low on content, where there was not so much of exposure. I'm also talking about the freshers, but the trainable model, the trainability of that specific candidate is too high, so that candidate is fast learner and everything, so that the person can learn a lot of things on the job. So I think that's a very big plus point. So I would suggest all the candidates to focus on all these three things, and I don't think that if they checklist all these three things, they will ever be able to not crack an interview. They'll be able to do that. So what you have to do is you have to keep your focus on these things, and the last thing is smile. Keep a smile.